Who are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Men Cave. Now your hosts, Ellie Jair and Jay Tilley.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening on this February 20th day of 2023, and we are in the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
And this is Jay Tilley.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the AEW review here in the No Shave Man Cave. What is up, man?
What's up, man? So we just got done with the SmackDown recording. Figured we'd cut it into two separate ones. So if you've just listened to the SmackDown recording and it ends all funky and cut, that's because we decided to break it up into two instead of putting out a whole hour and 20 minutes, because I got a slight feeling we might spend a little time here on Rampage, because it was an impressive show. So apologies right now to anybody that's listening to the audio version on the quick edit or the quick stop if it comes out a little funky.
Yeah. No, man, I was so excited for this. The card is jam-packed, and you know how Tony Khan likes to, shove a bunch of stuff, 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. And, when we were going to Daly's place and we would catch the shows, it didn't feel rushed as a fan sitting in the crowd. So I don't know why it feels so different when you're sitting at home. So I'm just guessing like atmosphere, and you're not hearing as much commentary, but we're seeing what's playing out in the back. And it seems like they do more interruption and run-ins in the back than they did like a year ago compared to now. But just the energy in the crowd, and Bully's always saying, if he's got $100, he's spending it on an AEW show, and this was another good one.
Yep, I agree. It was an interesting week for AEW because I thought Dynamite was a flop and Rampage was the better of the two shows, which typically is the opposite. Typically, Rampage is kind of I'll watch it and not really pay attention to it. But this one, I watched it and truly enjoyed it. I mean, there's some goofy stuff that happened, but there's a lot of story kind of driving stuff, which is not usually what happens on Rampage.
Yeah.
Like you said, the crowd was pretty hot, which is interesting because I felt like during Dynamite, some of the crowd was a little flat on some of it. So it was, you got the Elite opening it up. So I guess that's probably why. So speaking of that, we did open up with AR Fox and Top Flight versus the Elite. I think my favorite line I've ever heard JR say was during their entrance. They were talking about their NBA All-Star shirts. And JR goes, "Yeah, I didn't get one of those shirts because I'm too fat," under his breath. I was like, I feel you, brother. I feel you. Hey, we order shirts all the time at work, and I'm like, I don't get one because I'm too fat. So I got a real big kick out of that one. I enjoyed that line a lot. I don't know. It had me laughing pretty good. So hats off to that.
That group and the energy and they don't take themselves so serious.
Yep.
And I feel like for the last 2-3 years, they've continued to evolve as social media evolves.
Yes.
So they remain relevant, and especially with Omega, them referring to him as the champ with that beautiful United States title out of New Japan, and just chemistry that they have, the energy they bring, and then the opponents that they've had so far they're bringing them up and learning along the way, and the fact that they're backstage doing work too. Omega's putting in a lot of work with the women, and the Young Bucks are doing a lot of work with the tag team competitors. So I'm super, super impressed, and it's good to have them back after everything that happened with the brawl after after the pay-per-view. So
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It was sad to see them out for that time, but yeah, when they came back, it was good to see them back for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So match with AR Fox and Top Flight was strong. I don't know how they managed to do it, but they almost managed to top the first one.
Mhm.
My only complaint is the silly stuff with the basketball, but at the same time, I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, and AR Fox, I swear that dude looks like he defies gravity. There was two spots, two suicide dives, or whatever they call them now, over the top rope where I felt like time stood still. Like he floated up there and then landed on him. And then the other side, he floats and he kind of lands there. And just the timing was great. And then I think he did another one where he had the basketball as like a flip slam dunk kind of basketball thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, that guy can fly. And the height he got over that top rope was amazing.
And
And
whereas Top Dollar got hooked up on it and blamed his knee. Come on, man.
yeah,
That's a lot of mass to move over the top rope. So,
yeah,
and then with the basketballs, with them having the NBA All Star Game, them doing that cross promotion on the channel, TBS and TNT, I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it, but having it in the ring, I thought that was a little bit too much because you didn't see Giannis and LeBron come to the ring with title belts. Like, I
yeah,
don't know. But
yeah. I
yeah,
guess.
it was cute, I guess.
I mean, it was better than zombies outside the ring like the WWE did that one
Oh
time
my,
for that zombie movie
seriously,
where they all played zombies. And
man, that
I
was
thought, I mean,
terrible.
it was a fun match though,
Hmm.
and that's what the Elite does. They have a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't I can't go really through it, move my mood because there was so much and it was so exciting and just so much happening. But it ended up with the Elite winning. Dante, or was it Darius? I think Darius ate the one winging angel at the end for the finale. Yeah, but fun match. Like I said, just the defying of gravity and the timing that those six guys have in the ring is impressive.
Yeah, very.
And as you said when you started, like the Elite tend to bring people up to their level, and I'm terrified to see what AR Fox and Top Flight are going to do 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah,
They're going to be amazingly impressive when they get their timing down, and they get their facials down, and they do all the stuff they're doing at the next level as they improve. Not that they're green. I think
yeah.
AR Fox has actually been in the business for a while. This is his first big break, but
Mhm.
yeah, they're mwah, chef kiss. They're going to be great.
Yeah,
Open my
Dante
desk here.
too. What was interesting is he came when he was coming up through like the his initial start in the Indies. He wore a mask, so him just it's almost like he's just now learning what facials are,
Yeah,
and but the moves and the smooth speed that they move with, and them being able to work with the Bucks and Omega every time they get in the ring, they're only going to get better. And AR Fox has improved over the last month, and yeah, it's going to be fun, like you said, the next couple of years to see what those guys are up to.
yeah, yeah. I'd like to see them work. To be honest with you, I'd like to see them work somebody like FTR,
Hmm.
because I'd like to see if they could slow it down. I think they've worked them once, if I remember correctly. I think they worked FTR once. Maybe it was Seidel and Dante. I don't remember exactly, but now that
Yeah,
they've
I think
improved some,
Darius was out at that time.
yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
I'd like to see them work a team like that, or the Butcher and the Blade,
Ooh.
or a team that's going to kind of ground them a little bit. Because
Yeah.
I love the flippy stuff and the high adrenaline, the literally like adrenaline shot to your heart. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
can you guys stop, slow down? I can't catch everything. But I think to make a great 5-star tag team, they need to be able to do both. And I'm an FTR mark. I like FTR, and
Yeah.
I think they do the groundwork stuff and they do the storytelling in the ring really well. But they also do some of the jumpy stuff. I mean, if you go back and watch the dog collar match with the
Ooh.
Briscoes, they're jumping off the top rope. They're doing whatever
Yeah.
it takes to win. So I like the fact that they can do it if they need to, but they can also they can do it if they need to, but they are better at the ground game.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see Top Flight get a little better at the ground game.
Yeah. No, it
We saw
makes
a
sense. I
little.
think.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it makes sense, and like it would help them sort of round out their entire game, and styles make fights. So if they can mix it up with the flippy floppy and the ground and pound, they're going to be even that much better.
Yeah, and I think they did Yuta and Mox a couple weeks ago too, and that match was a little bit ground now that I think about it. But yeah, I definitely want to see him do that style a little more and
Yeah,
get
a
more
little more
used to.
often.
Yeah, a realistic tag team
Mhm.
go at it, like maybe against Los Sex Gods or something, and just see the. Oh man, that'd be a good one too.
Jeez, that would
That'd
be
be a
good
good one.
because Guevara can do a little bit of everything,
Yep.
and yeah, I just don't want to see Jericho do too many flippy floppies and break his neck.
Yeah. I also don't want him to suck the fun out of them, as he
Yeah, that's
tends to be
true.
doing lately. So
Yeah, he needs to get away
then,
from Stark. God,
yeah, man, he
jeez.
absolutely does. Yeah, I'm ready. Well, we can get to that. They actually have a match coming up later. Starks is involved in. So, but at the end of the match, goes Black, House of Black on the on the rampway, obviously challenging for the titles there. So, yeah, I'm on board for that one.
Yeah,
Whew.
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I've been calling for that since they were teasing it a while back. So that, and they've got 3 weeks to build for the pay per view, so
Hmm.
they can heat that up pretty good, I think. And that match is gonna. Oh man, I can't wait to see like Omega in there with Brody King.
Mm,
Forget about it. That's gonna be
yeah, that's gonna be fun.
great.
And like you said, they've got 3 weeks at 6 shows. They AEW just got a new trademark for a new show. I think it's called Collision.
Collision.
So that
Yeah.
that'll be a lot of fun. Where they'll sort of, I think it's going to be part of their streaming service where they'll sort of do like a weekly recap. I don't know if it's going to be like Talking Smack or the Bump, but it'll be something that if you don't catch Rampage or you don't catch Dynamite, sorry,
Yeah.
if you don't catch those, you can catch a half an hour, 45-minute show, hour-long show, and you get everything you need, plus some exclusives only available on that show.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm curious. I saw the trademark too. I don't know what it's going to be because I don't
Mhm.
see him getting a third show. But I also know they trademarked. This was a while ago. AEW Women something. I don't remember what it was. So people had the rumor was going they were going to do an all women show. But who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Probably has something to do with
Yeah,
the streaming or
yeah. If
something to
they
do with their
do
TV deal.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, as they get every day closer to what is it, Warner Bro. Discovery plus
Yeah,
Paramount
whoever's
something.
gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah, whoever's
but
gonna end up
if they
taking
do
on
an
their
all
streaming.
women show, hopefully Statlander is back by then because I I really want to see her back healthy in the ring, and then someone who has a match here, who has a match on this show, Jade and Statlander. That'd be a fun match.
Yeah, I definitely think they were building Statlander to take it from Jade, and I feel like since she got hurt, they didn't know what to do with Jade, so she's just kind of in this holding pattern.
Hmm.
Because yeah, I
Yeah,
just
she's like
she's
50 and
not
0
going
now or
anywhere right now.
something,
Yeah,
and
it's like
yeah.
53 or something. Yeah, and it's
Hmm.
stagnant, and the matches are we know the outcome every match, and I feel like it's gotten real stagnant.
Yeah.
So we yeah, House of Black come out challenge, then the Guns cut a promo. Yeah,
Mm.
whatever. Welcome to the Gun Show. We all
Yeah.
know they're just like a transitionary title holders, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll lose it going into. I'm sure they'll lose it coming out of Rampage. Maybe not. Maybe they'll surprise us, but I don't see them holding it for long personally. And then we had another talking segment, which was Mark Henry talking to Orange Cassidy about his string of wins lately. And up comes Wheeler Yuta, which I thought was an interesting twist. And Yuta talks about how he's had all these wins and nobody's talking about him. So interesting turn there. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's making him heel. We've kind of talked about it with AEW. They kind of go both ways.
Yeah.
That's what she said. But they kind of go. They could do either face or heel, and they bounce back and forth, especially the BCC. But he set up a match for that All Atlantic title, which Yuta versus Orange Cassidy is going to be a good one. I kind of would like to see Yuta versus Orange Cassidy for the Pure title because I'd like to see what Orange Cassidy could do in Pure Rules. I'd be
That
interested to see that one play out.
yeah, that would be a lot of fun because he is so athletic, and his transition game, although he does the from wherever,
Yeah,
he can go,
yeah,
and yeah, that would be a lot of fun to. And if Yuta worked sort of a not quite heel role,
yep,
that'd be even more fun because he wouldn't be taking cheap shots in the corner and liberties, as they would say.
Right. Yeah. This is gonna be an interesting. It's one of those pairings that AEW is so good at, where it's two guys you don't think you want to see in the ring, and then you see him in the ring and you go, "Oh, Tony Khan is really good at that. He's really good at matching people up and ending up having these banger matches that you didn't really see coming." And I can see this one being one of those surprise hits on Wednesday night for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's Yuta is legit. I think Orange is really good for that All Atlantic title.
Yep.
Because he is so polarizing and entertaining, and any card that he's added to all over the world, everybody's like, "Oh, he's here, he's here." So I think as they continue to build that title, I think it's he's only going to get stronger and stronger. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. My only complaint about it is I thought we'd see more outside AEW challengers for it, and I'm waiting for those. Like, I'd like to see some of the New Japan guys come in and challenge for it. I'd like to see maybe some AAA guys who they got a working relationship come challenge for it.
Yeah.
But that being said, I agree. I think he's having quite a run as a champion, and I think it shows what he could probably do if he got like the if he gets the TBS or TNT title.
Oh, yeah.
I think he'd make a good run at that too. Then we had Garcia versus Starks. Pretty decent match. Again, shenanigans in it, but I was okay with them because it got interrupted quick, so they let them kind of have the match. I don't really have many notes on walking through each part of it. The big thing at the end was Garcia had Starks in the Dragon Tamer, I think it calls it, his version of the Figure 4 Scorpion Deathlock hybrid thing. And as he's Starks is reaching for the ropes, Sammy Guevara runs out and pulls the ropes away, which then calls out Action Andretti. So they didn't forget about him. Go figure. I hadn't seen him or heard anything about him.
Yeah, he's been quiet for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I wonder if they said, "Hey, let's get you into promo school for a couple weeks or something." I mean, he's super green, so like I'm not trying to bash the guy, but they obviously went, "Oh, maybe we pushed this a little too hard, too quick."
Yeah.
But yeah, so he comes out, makes the save. Starks ends up winning with the Rochambeau. Decent match, nothing super special. Went about 10 minutes. Wasn't anything like, it wasn't like a 5-star, oh my gosh match, which I think these two could have in the future.
Yeah.
However, with the characters that Garcia's working right now, that slimy heel, I need Cheat to win, it's fine. I'm a little disappointed in it because I'd like to see him do more and do other things. I was really looking forward to him splitting away from the Jericho Appreciation Society and having a couple matches outside of that. His feud with Yuta was amazing, so they had some really good stuff back and forth.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for too. Just like you, like this guy can go. He's really young. He's getting better on the mic, and he starts pulling away, and all of a sudden he's not quite the mouthpiece, obviously, because Jericho's there, and all those other characters try and be more obnoxious than the next.
Yeah,
it would be nice to see him get jumped out and kind of go at it on his own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're leading up to a Garcia Guevara match, which would be a really good match. Talk about conflicting styles. That's another one of those pairings that would be fun to watch. And I'm sure we're heading that way. It's just taking a long time to get there. So I'm ready for it, but I'll as I've learned with AEW, I'll let it play out.
Yep.
I'll enjoy the ride when we get there. If it's something I'm not enjoying, it's probably going to change here in the next few months anyway. That's the one thing I will say about the Jericho Appreciation Society is I'm getting tired of it. It's old and stale, but Jericho has this way of reinventing himself. Usually it takes a little longer than I like, but he always does it. It's always like, okay, I'm ready for something. Matter of fact, the What Culture guys were talking about the problem with Jericho, that podcast they did a while back. And I agree. It's like, all right, it's time for him to do something new with this character, which means he's probably going to do something crazy and new coming out of Revolution. Like he'll run it through this pay-per-view cycle, and then coming out of it, maybe they challenge for the trios title after that match, or who knows what the direction is going to be, but I'm sure he'll do something to turn it around.
Yeah. And then you got Hager in the back. I absolutely love this hat.
Yeah.
You see this? I tweeted it. He was sitting there. Jericho
trying not to laugh. Yeah, popping himself. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, Hager kind of knows his role in this for sure. He's just playing the big dumb jock. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's good. the idea of the Jericho Appreciation Society, I get it. And, some of the characters that the Daddy Mac or whatever, smacking the gum all the time, like that's his role. Okay, good.
Yep.
But like you said, they've got to hit the reset button coming out of Revolution and how they morph Jericho and how they morph the Appreciation Society.
Yeah, the thing about the Appreciation Society, easy for me to say, that was good was when WWE was not so good. So it worked as the big joke about WWE, but now that WWE's got the Bloodline thing going and they're not doing as much as the goofy sports entertainment stuff, they've actually even gotten away from saying sports entertainment.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem to work as well. And it's almost like, all right, now you're kind of making fun of yourselves. So let's get out of that funk on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good comparison or analogy to what's going on. That's funny.
Yeah, but like I said, it's Jericho. I'm sure coming out of Revolution, he'll have a plan, and it'll work. I'm sure it will. Yeah, he never let us down before. So, then we get a Evil Uno promo talking about John Moxley, and sorry, Evil Uno, I like you, buddy, but John Moxley's gonna whoop that ass.
Yeah, he's gonna grind him up, and and Uno, all the overseas stuff and indie stuff he did, and I think you pointed out last episode, he's gotten himself in shape, and him and his crew, the
Dark
group
Order,
the Dark Order, thanks. They've gotten stronger, even with the passing of Brody and losing 10. They still seem, as a character, they still seem relevant. So hopefully this sort of like reestablishes them as a relevant element of AEW.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that's what they were gonna try. They're gonna try to do because it definitely seemed like Evil Uno turned that corner from being the goofy guy in the back that plays video games to, oh, okay, this guy's serious. Yeah, so I definitely felt that coming out of that promo. Like, okay, this is like a different Evil Uno. So maybe they will. Maybe they'll spin him around. Maybe they'll turn him. Maybe they'll break them up and they'll go their separate ways. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they don't want to break it up because of, just a tribute to Brody, and his son comes out with the mask and stuff. So I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah. So unless they do it where Brody's son comes out and signifies the end of the Dark
he
Order
disbands
or
them.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, the other thing I have an issue with now that we're talking about it is why aren't they more pissed off with 10? Like, he turned their backs on him. He absolutely berates -1, and they completely dropped that storyline. I think they had a couple matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just it was just done.
They were just like, oh yeah, Vance is gone now, and he's in a match bleeding all over the place with Mox.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Tony, you should revisit that because that had potential there. Unless you're going to wait till -1's old enough to challenge him, then that's some serious long-term storytelling. Talking about what 10 years, 10, 12 years down the road.
I need a couple of pencils and a couple of notepads for that one.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't know why I just thought of that. It's not often AEW drops a storyline. I mean, there's a few I can think of, but that's one that they just kind of dropped it, and that was kind of one that could have heated up the Dark Order for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you want us? You want to leave us? Well, we want you out, and then they build it from there.
Yeah, just the heat factor of going after -1 and all that. Which maybe he's back in school now, so he can't do all the traveling, so that's why they kind of just let it go.
Yeah,
who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wait till spring break. They may.
Yeah, spring break will pop in, or next time they're in Jacksonville, show up. Then we had TBS Championship Jade Cargill versus was it Vert Vixen? Vert Vixen?
Vert Vixen.
Vert Vixen. Yeah, easy for me to say.
Yeah,
Vert Vixen in a squash, 2 minutes. I don't even think Vert got any offense in. Maybe a slap here or there, but she got squashed. We already talked kind of about Jade. I'm ready for whatever's next in her evolution. The squash matches aren't doing much to give her ring time to improve.
Right.
Not that she's horrible, but she's still green, and sometimes you can see it. So yeah, I want Statlander to come back, especially if that's the play and that's what they're going with. I don't know. I haven't looked for an update on Statlander. I don't know when she's ready to go. I know she had knee surgery. It'd be cool if she pops in and can do Revolution and beat Jade.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see where that one goes.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jade do a couple matches or, spend some more time working with Madison Rain, because that was like 99% of the reason why they signed her, is to be a personality and a coach. So, she's still doing that little stutter step before she does her
Yep.
big boot. But she looks great. Her gear every single time looks phenomenal, super creative, and how the baddies keep like kind of turning out different baddies. I think that's kind of funny, like kind of like a Mean Girls kind of a thing. Like, oh, you don't even go here. So
Yeah, like they're
that'll
rotating
be
through them for sure.
yeah. So that'll be interesting to where you know what happens if and when she drops the title. What happens with the next baddie that wants to step up to her? Is that the one that knocks her off her throne? Does someone who's focused or was focused on the world title pivot to the TBS title? Or, I don't think they'd want to have a program with Britt and Jade, because that just wouldn't. I don't think that would be fair. Or
I don't think they'd work well together yet.
yeah, I don't think Britt is good enough to work down in order to get Jade to work up,
Right.
and it would just be too clunky. So we'll like you said, Tony's got a pretty good vision on where he wants things to go. So I'm looking forward to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. We talked about my feelings on Britt before. I think
Mhm.
she's got all the potential. She's still green, and pairing those two together, I don't think would work right now. Yeah, I don't see. I was gonna say Tony Storm would be a good opponent for her, but I don't see Tony leaving the title picture right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's Jade's belt right now, and she's running with it. I think the play is gonna be Statlander. I think they're just
Mhm.
stalling until Statlander gets back. Hopefully, Statlander's back soon. Get well. So I hope she's back.
Yeah. Heal up.
Then we
Let's
end.
see.
What's that?
I said, let's see when what the talks are with Statlander.
Oh, okay. Well, while you're looking at that up, I'll go over the Swerve and Dustin match.
Oh man.
Man, I was pleasantly surprised with this match. I know Swerve can go, and I know Dustin can go, but he's getting up there in age. So
Yeah.
sometimes I always wonder. I mean, it's your bodies end up hurting and going, and I didn't know how much he'd be able to keep up with Swerve. He did a hell of a job keeping up with Swerve in this match. I
Yeah.
thought the pace was pretty decent. You could tell they slowed down a little bit here and there just to let old Dusty get his Dustin get his breath back. But
Yeah.
overall, the match was great. A couple of the highlights is Swerve just really looks smooth, and that drop kick into Bury the Barricade from Swerve to Dustin's head. Oh, like I'm sure he juiced, but man, that could have been a hard way. That
Yeah.
looks stiff as hell.
Yeah. That was both of them. They Swerve when he was in the WWE. He looked good. Had a lot of really good moves. With sort of feud ish that he's been doing with Keith Lee, you can see some of that aggression coming out.
Yep.
And Dustin, he's like you said, he's closer to the end than he is the beginning. So I think he's trying to get relive some glory days before he's done in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, he busted out a Canadian destroyer in this match,
Yeah,
which was
that was pretty
nice.
cool.
And then he hit that Death Valley driver. He basically he starts off hot. Swerve gets it back with some outside shenanigans, and Swerve just runs it for a little bit. Then Dustin gets it back, hits that Death Valley driver, gets him back in the ring, hits him with a what was it, a code red? Or not, I think that's what he calls his Death Valley driver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or no, that's what he calls his Canadian destroyer is the code red. Hits that, looks like he's going to get a win, and Dustin gets pulled out of the ring by Parker Boudreaux. In a very rare occurrence, we get a DQ in AEW, which I was surprised at.
Yeah.
Then we get the beatdown. Obviously, beat the crap out of Dustin. Security comes out. Parker blows through security. And who comes out to make the save but the returning Keith Lee with his hair all grayed out. That dude,
Wow.
he would scare me if he was coming after me.
Yeah.
And that was, he comes out, obviously does the work, gets, saves Dustin. So I'm sure we're setting up for, the Keith Lee swerve at Revolution match. So they got, again, a few weeks to heat that back up. But those two in the match, that's going to be a good one.
That's gonna be
going forward.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. See Dustin against what do they call them, the collection or whatever. Dustin goes against the collection over the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
He starts laying the groundwork for whatever his final match will be, and whoever he decides he wants to go with, that will be, how he goes out on the Shield or whatever. But yeah, I think we kind of floated on the topic before, but Dustin, I really, really hope that cooler heads can prevail and Dustin can be ringside or somehow there when at WrestleMania. And I don't know how they would talk about it in commentary, because they haven't said AEW on WWE television. They've just said the other place.
Yep.
And Dustin would have to be on his best behavior, not be wearing any Dustin the natural with that big AEW logo on his back, or whatever. So
I'm sure if he was there, he'd be in a suit, all dressed up and everything anyway. But I mean, you saw that Starks was at Royal Rumble with Cody. So
yeah, that's true.
So I think you say cooler heads. I think Tony is like, yeah, sure. I don't see Tony Khan as, I could be completely 100% wrong on this, but I don't see Tony Khan as being the one to put a stop to it. I could see maybe the other side putting a stop to it.
Yeah.
But I also think Cody's probably got some stroke over there, and if he pushes it, it might happen.
Yeah.
I also don't know the status of Dustin's contract. Is it up in April like everybody else? Usually, the April seems to be WWE's or AEW's contract month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure. Maybe it's up. Maybe not. Maybe he's going to stay backstage, and Tony's just going to let him go. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, you had Britt Baker at ringside during NXT.
So. Yeah, that totally tripped me out. And then you had, I don't know if you caught any of the New Japan stuff this weekend.
Oh, yeah. He was there, yeah.
Bailey was there. CM Punk was there. There was another WWE, can't remember who the other one was. I was like, wait a minute, and then I realized, oh, well, they're not on the card. I guess they were, and Bailey's from San Jose. So it was just like, oh, I'll just go home anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What do they call it? The Valley or something like that. Is it Green Valley? But yeah, that New Japan show was pretty good. I caught some clips of it. It still won't let me log in on my New Japan World, but
yeah, I was having a hard time with it too. I'm wondering if it's one of those things where it's got to be out for a week and then I can watch it on New Japan, because Fight TV technically put on the pay-per-view.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And it's in the United States.
So I had an issue trying to watch one of their other pay-per-views until like 2 or 3 weeks later. Then I was able to get it. So maybe that's it. Okay. Maybe we've just got to wait till it's live on New Japan.
Yeah.
But speaking of CM Punk, have you noticed all the little teases AEW's been doing about bringing him back? There's been like little things here and there that made me go
tiny, like,
There's been a lot of best in the world references. So there's been a few people dropping promos about being the best in the world. Just little sprinkles here and there. There was a thing on Being the Elite with the Young Bucks thing where they sprinkled in some hints about it. And I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking and reading too much into it, but
yeah,
there's definitely, to me, seems to have been those little hints, kind of like before he debuted. Like I'm waiting for Kenny Omega to wear a Cookie Monster shirt again or something.
Yeah, the Adam Cole made some reference to.
That's right. Adam Cole made a comment about best in the world.
He could never say anything bad about CM Punk, and like you said, he mentioned a couple times how he thought he was the best in the world.
Can you imagine if Adam Cole, CM Punk at Revolution? I'm there for that. A couple reasons. One, that means they've mended fences and decided let's make some money.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah, there was also
shape up a little bit.
Yeah, it ought to be a decent card. I'm concerned about some of the matches, but we'll get into that when we start getting closer. Because if we start trying to prognosticate some of those matches now, they might not even happen. So
yeah, so much is up. Card subject to change this far out. So
yeah, because I'm thinking Ricky Starks and Jarrett could go to that, but realistically, in 3 weeks they could finish that up and be done with it.
Yeah,
and not have it on the pay-per-view.
And Starks could go back and focus on All Ego, and they can start building those two back up.
Yep.
We were talking before about the pillars, and everything's been quiet there on the former TNT champion. He, since he lost the title, he's been super quiet.
Yep.
Is that for a reason? Are they going to try and heat him up over the next couple of weeks? But all in all, just, you've said this a couple of times, Tony, just be patient with Tony, and you'll definitely be rewarded.
Yep. Just be patient and let it play out and see where it goes. All right, man. So we come to that part of the night. What do you give Rampage?
Man, this was the best show of the week for me. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed, even though it was an hour, the storytelling, the matches, the backstage didn't seem ridiculous. It was just funny enough to make you remember that this is entertaining and my suspended belief. So I'm going to give it 3.5 beards. And again, this was my show of the week. Really, really happy for AEW. The refs are becoming relevant. Tag team is always great. The trios are amazing. It was fun. It was a good show.
Yep, I agree. I'm right there with you. Definitely my show of the week, and I gave it 3.5 also. So nice. Right there with you. My show of the week, and then that being said, just because of Rampage, I think AEW was the promotion of the week in my opinion.
Yeah, easily, and
not counting Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
Keep that out.
Yeah,
obviously.
Just regular weekly programming. The 5 hours versus 3. Quality versus quantity, absolutely. I'm right there with you.
Yep, and that's with the big stink bomb that they laid on Dynamite. They would have blown WWE out of the water this week if they'd have put on one of the Dynamites they've put on in the past for sure.
Absolutely.
But all right, I've been Jay Tilley.
I'm Ellie Jair, and we really appreciate you joining us here today in the Man Cave, and hope everybody enjoyed this week in wrestling. Stay safe, look out for one another, and we'll see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Man Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool, and we'll see you next time on the No Shave Men Cave.